Let's take a deep dive into Australia's housing challenges. Bloomberg Intelligence expects supply shortages in capital cities to be prolonged as higher building costs slash the incentive to build. Analyst Mohsen Crofts joins us now in Sydney. So where are we seeing as the source of the shortage and what comes next?
Yeah, so we have had quite a slowdown in the level of construction recently, and part of that's just been because we've had that prolonged period of lower prices. And that combined with the population growth surging back after the government reopened the borders, now growing at a rate of 2.2%. So to make matters worse, we're in a situation with housing costs of construction surging. We're now looking at a 30% rise in construction costs since June 2019, and it's just making construction activity non-competitive. And the RBA recently put something out to suggest that a third of construction companies are now losing money. With the economics that bad in the construction sector, we think we're going to be looking at a severe shortages over the next couple of years.
It's interesting because, this is also the first rate cycle, I think, for a long time where we've actually seen that annual price rebound. They're also looking, the government that is, to introduce 1.2 million homes over the next 5 years. We're going to see more immigration as well. So is that all a feasible kind of scenario for you?
Yeah, I think for anyone who is either a renter or a landlord, it's kind of unmissable at the moment, right? Unfortunately, the situation that we're looking at is not necessarily in the government's control. So the state government is what sets planning policy, and the economics and the low margins in the construction sector, that's really more related to prices and to the price of houses and construction materials. So unfortunately, it would be a great thing to happen and a very nice promise, but it seems a little bit fanciful at this point.
So you have issues in the construction sector, you still have great migration. How do you get this resolved then?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that this is likely to be resolved. And firstly is we are starting to see some slowdown in the commodity pricing, and that's going to help at least with further rises in those costs of things like lumber and steel. Secondly, there is likely to be what we call shrinkflation. So you can see some developers now developing on smaller blocks, also reducing the cost and quality of fittings potentially. And thirdly, this is not really welcome news for people in that renting situation, but it is likely to be a demographic change. And what I mean by that is more people moving into shared accommodation and more people moving back with their parents.
Bloomberg Intelligence Analyst Mohsen Crofts there with us.